Hi there, Pisces. Welcome to your April 2025 General Tarot reading. It's Rena here. Just a little housekeeping before I do the actual reading. An update on my first channel, Rena Moon Astrology. That will have one set of tarot readings, and the rest will be put on this channel. If you're not coming here from that channel, welcome, and just understand that the main channel is mostly astrology. So if you like both, please subscribe to my main channel. But this one is going to have most of the tarot readings that I do. All right, let's look at April. There's your card. Talk about synchronicity. Oh my goodness, look at all these. This is actually your card too. I mean, by way of your ruler Neptune. Oh my gosh. Look at all these major arcana cards that I got here. That is really amazing. I got 4 out of 6. It sounds like this is going to be a very important month for Pisces individuals. Especially, this is the central theme. Okay, well, I'm sensing some anxiety here. Something going on that you feel like you do not have all the information about. The moon can be deceptive. The moon can be half-truths. Some of it is true, some of it is not. The moon can be you sensing, because the moon is intuitive. So it could be that you're sensing that something is up, but you just don't know what it is. And it's making you very anxious. This is a card of insomnia. This is just a card of anxiety. And you may feel like, okay, let's say if this is relationship related, you may feel like somebody's cheating on you, but you haven't been able to nail them. You haven't been able to like totally prove it. And because Pisces is a sign that you're always tempted to just kind of check out emotionally and, create this alternative narrative about what is really going on so that you can kind of like stick your head in the sand and, not have to actually leave that relationship. But when that happens, the 9 of Swords is like that anxiety doesn't have anywhere to go. It still is there. You're still feeling it. You're still like, when that person goes out, you're still like, are they really going where they say they're going? And you may just feel like extremely uncomfortable, like you're ungrounded. Or, when I have felt like those kinds of feelings, now that they talk about the nervous system, I'm like, oh, that's what that is. So then when the nervous system gets disrupted, there's another term for it, then you have to learn how to dysregulate it. You have to learn how to regulate it, and you can do certain practices, even like physical things, there's like exercises. The higher message is the World card, and this is the last card of the major arcana. So it could be kind of that in your heart of hearts that there's an end here. I gave an example of a personal relationship, but even in the workplace, you walk into the workplace and all of a sudden, the moon card could be everyone is acting weird around you, coworkers, and you don't know what's up, but you just kind of get this weird feeling, and it makes you feel anxious. It gives you that anxious feeling of the 9 of Swords because you just want to know what's going on. And the World card is saying This is the end of an era, and it's time to forge a new path. You're going to have a lunar eclipse in September in your sign. So this is not something new. This is something that is definitely a theme for you in the next year. Because even that lunar eclipse in Virgo, that fell in your seventh house of committed partnership. So that could be this, even in April, kind of coming home to roost with relationships. What crosses you is the Hanged One. This is kind of a feminist deck called the Modern Witch, something like that. And so they don't say man, I guess. But I'm going to say the Hangman. And this is a card of feeling like you're in a state of suspension, meaning that you don't feel as if, like you're in a, I don't know if I'd say a holding pattern, but in between two worlds, or in between two phases of your life. Also, if I read this in a certain way, it could be useless sacrifice. This is the story of Pisces life. Since this is a card connected to Neptune, this is, something that you may relate to in terms of the theme of sacrifice, where maybe you try to, let's say someone, I'm going to just say woman, decided to give up her career and raise her children at home because her partner really wanted her to. And maybe she thought, yeah, this is a good idea. And she thought we're going to strengthen the family. But all it seemed to do was make her feel like he was gone even more so. And then he had the excuse, well, I'm the only breadwinner, so I have to be gone a lot. So it can be something where you gave something up for this hope of a better situation, and it hasn't led to that. Maybe even in the workplace, you did something that you were asked to do, and in the back of your mind, you might have done it so that you wouldn't be so expendable. But here we are. And you might just be feeling like, get it over with. Like, stop keeping me hanging here, because I feel like I can't, move forward or, stop the past. And of course, you could move forward in a different direction. But if you really were thinking about staying here, that's what I kind of mean. What's coming in is a Ten of Cups. This is a card of happily ever after. It's a card of family harmony, but it's the pot at the end of the rainbow. 10 is a number of completion of a cycle, talking about that world card. There could be something here, but this is also a marriage card. So if you have been worried about your marriage, it's below the Nine of Swords. Maybe things will turn out the way that you are hoping for. Maybe with also the, I think in some cases too, maybe like you are waiting for a person to leave their marriage. And in that case, maybe they do just that. But this can feel very disempowering, because you might feel like you're being controlled by somebody else's timetable. I think it can work both ways, even though it's a very positive card in the upright position. If it is like, if they're choosing their marriage, then it might mean that you're left high and dry here. But it might work out in your favor. The outcome is the High Priestess. This is you. It's kind of like, maybe the moral of the story is to trust your intuition. You may have gotten some things that made you really question. The Moon card and the High Priestess are similar to me. The difference, I would say, is that The High Priestess is specifically looking at your connection to your higher self. And the Moon card could be influences around you, but it can be deception that you have to contend with in order to, experience the clarity of the situation that you find yourself in. Because if you are ending a cycle in your life, let's say your job has run its course and you realize that, you have to know how, like exactly what is going on so that you can make an informed decision. And if you're like afraid that you're going to get fired before you quit, that's like an example of that. And it can make you feel like you're just like twisting in the wind, I think. So the High Priestess is really kind of like, at the end of the day, this superpower that you have as a Pisces. Maybe sometimes you don't tune into it because you don't want to know the answer in certain cases. You don't want something to end. You don't want a relationship to end, even though you might not be satisfied with it. So it's really such a great thing, especially since you have such a talent in this area, to just tune into yourself. Be still and know. All right, that's what I have for you, Pisces. Hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, be it the tarot or astrology or both, please check out my package deals. The link is below. Take care. Bye.